Thank you for joining us for the UCA Game Day Breakdown. Today we're going to dive into the Game Day score sheets. The UCA Game Day divisions were added to promote the incredible performances teams were showcasing at football and basketball games along with other sporting events and pep rallies. The Game Day performances are judged on 2 score sheets, each worth 50 points. One score sheet is specifically for the band, chant, and fight song, while the second will be for the situational sideline as well as the crowd leading section. Similar to the performance routines, there will also be a deduction sheet and a safety sheet. Judges will be assigned to either the band, chant, and fight song score sheet or the sideline and crowd leading. They will only take into account what happens during those sections of the routine. All teams will perform their game day routine in the following order. First, they'll start with their band chant. This will be followed by their situational sideline. Next, they'll move into their crowd leading portion and finish the routine with the fight song. There is no time limit for each section, but the total performance is limited to 3 minutes. The game day performances also have some additional skill restrictions. Tosses, inversions, and twisting release dismounts are never allowed during the performance. Single leg stunts are limited to liberty and liberty hitches. Running tumbling is prohibited, and for standing tumbling, only one single skill can be performed, and a back tuck is the most elite skill. Also note that stunts are not allowed as transitions before or between sections, and this includes between the situational sideline and the crowd leading section. The band chant will be consistent with the summer camp format. Teams should demonstrate spirit and enthusiasm when entering the performance floor and before the music begins. A cue will not be given to start the band chant. Once the music begins, teams cannot incorporate any skills other than kicks and jumps, just like summer camp. Squads should utilize spirit-raising props and focus on creative movements such as level changes, ripples, and the execution of material to encourage the crowd to respond and participate. Following the band chant, the announcer will provide a cue for offense or defense. Teams should wait until the announcer finishes the cue and show the proper response to the game day situation. Squads should focus on crowd effectiveness, motion technique, and skills relevant to the game day environment. It is required to incorporate skills in the sideline. Following the sideline, teams must return to the performing surface and show a clear separation between elements. Teams can show spirited interaction as a clear transition into the crowd leading material, but are not allowed to stunt. Crowd leading can include a cheer reflective of a timeout, spell out, or other cheer material with minimal words, inciting a response and encouraging the crowd to yell along. Teams should incorporate spirit-raising props and practical skills. That's stunts or tumbling if the division allows. The final element should reflect your school's traditional fight song. Teams should incorporate crowd effective skills, stunts or tumbling, and can include spirit-raising props to enhance the overall effect. Fight song incorporation is limited to 3 consecutive 8 counts of stunts or tumbling. Counting will begin with the initiation of the skill and continue until either the incorporation is complete or the end of the third 8 count. If the fight song repeats, the incorporation will only be permitted both times if the skills are repeated exactly the same. Here are the score sheets for the game day performances. The score sheet on the left is for the situational sideline and crowd leading section, while the score sheet on the right is for the band chant and fight song. Several of the captions appear under multiple categories, so you'll notice that we're looking for the same things throughout the routine. We'll start with game day situation for the sideline and game day material for the cheer. In both categories, we're looking for proper use of material and skills relevant for the game day environment. For the sideline, the announcer will give a cue and the response should be definitively offensive or defensive. Scores will be based on the quick response and seamless transition. For the crowd leading section, the material should be easy to understand and encourage the crowd to respond. All skills performed during these sections should be solid and well executed and should not distract from the performance. Next, in both the sideline and crowd leading sections will be crowd effectiveness. This is similar to how it's judged on the cheer score sheet for the performance division. Judges are looking for the following: loud and clear voices building up to callbacks, ensuring the volume doesn't drop during skill incorporation, a moderate pace with a constant tempo, no abrupt transitions or tempo changes. They want teams to maximize crowd coverage, and once again, the material should be easy to understand. Our next category on both sideline and crowd leading is motion technique and crowd leading tools. Here, judges will be looking for levels and proper motion placement by all team members. They're going to be looking at how sharp the team members are, that's on the ground and in the stunts. For proper use of signs, palms, megaphones, and flags, the judges are going to be looking to see how well they're utilized. For signs and flags, we're looking for promotion of crowd involvement, being easy to read and shown to the crowd in time to yell. For palms, you can indicate specific colors or times to yell. And megaphones can be used to project voices to the crowd. Just remember, full credit will not automatically be given just for using everything. Quality over quantity. The last category that's on the sideline and the crowd leading section is execution of skills. Here, we're looking for things that are true to a game day environment. Skills should be solid, safe, and 100% performance ready. For proper technique and stability, we'll be looking at the tops, the bases, and spots during stunting, the entire team for tumbling, keeping in mind that in game day performances, all skills should be stable with no movement. For synchronization and spacing, think about the timing of skills performed and the formation during all skills performed. Skills should be practical, and what's practical for one team might not be practical for another. The last caption on the sideline and crowd leading score sheet, as well as the band chant and fight song score sheet, is overall impression. This is the one time that judges will need to be looking at the entire performance that they watch to score. What they're going to be looking for is a team to lead the crowd effectively, demonstrate spirit-raising antics, exhibit strong athleticism, keep the crowd entertained, and overall, was the routine well executed, which led to a solid and safe performance. When incorporating skills into the routine, here are some helpful tips. For stunts, use them to make the cheerleaders easier to see by raising them up into the air. The stunts that you really should consider would be preps, extensions, liberty, and liberty hitches, ensuring that during any time we're stunting, the people in the air can still lead the crowd. For tumbling and jumps, think single, synchronized skills. Synchronized is always better unless you're choreographing back to match a response. Running, tumbling, and jump combos are much better for performance routines. Teams should incorporate skills that can be performed well. These skills should not inhibit their ability to lead the crowd effectively. Do what you do well and move on. Moving to our second score sheet, we have the fight song and the band chant. The band chant is the first section of the routine, should be similar to a 30-second timeout at a game, should have an emphasis on the crowd appeal and practicality, and there's no stunts or tumbling permitted. You would be allowed to incorporate jumps or kicks. The fight song will be the final part of the performance. In this one, we can incorporate stunts and tumbling. It should be practical and easy to follow, but they must follow the 8-count restrictions and the additional skill restrictions from earlier. The first category that will be judged on both the band chant and the fight song is the game day visual appeal. Here we're looking for level changes, ripples, and creative movements. We should see a great use of the floor throughout the routine, a seamless flow from the beginning to the end, and the use of the floor with a variety of formations. The second category is called material relevant to a game day environment for the band chant and the effectiveness of the incorporation for the fight song. In both of these situations, we're looking for proper use of material and skills relevant to the game day environment. We're looking for things that can be performed at any time during a game and in any situation. We're also looking to see was the team engaged with the crowd and encouraging participation. Skills should be clean, effective, and not a distraction. Next, we have motion technique and crowd leading tools. Judges will be looking for motion placement, sharpness, synchronization, technique, timing, spacing, as well as use of props. For execution, we'll be taking into account those practical skill incorporations and the technique of those skills. Now, for the band chant, that would be our jumps or kicks. Then for the fight song, jumps, kicks, tumbling, or stun if the division allows. We'll take into account the stability, synchronization, as well as ensuring we still have maximum crowd coverage. The last caption on the band chant and fight song score sheet is the overall impression, worth 10 points. This score will include both of those performances and will be one total score. What judges will be looking for is energy and enthusiasm from the beginning to end, strong leadership for the crowd, keeping the crowd entertained, and the team to lead the crowd effectively. We also want to see transitions between the components were smooth and effective. This concludes the UCA Game Day Score Sheet breakdown. If you have any questions, please email them to ucascoring@varsity.com. We hope to see you guys soon.